Okay, I just spent the last couple of hours working with my new tools made of wrought iron. I got a couple of pressure flakers, although I mainly use this one here. I didn't use this one at all. And an indirect percussion flaker. I think this is live oak. Wrapped thread around. Drove this into a hole that I drilled. I did crack it, but I think the thread, there's enough windings that it'll hold it in pretty securely. This works so far. So I have used it. Works all right. And I've got a couple pieces left over. Not sure what I'll do with these yet. And of course I still have the other ones. So these are my wrought iron tools so far. And I tried to make a Humboldt earlier. It took way too long. The piece was very large that I started with. A piece of obsidian was, probably 2 inches wide. It was a good spall, but I kept getting overshots and it became very narrow. So I'm going to try again. And this time I'll film it. I think I might have enough room for one of this size here in this piece. If not, I don't think I have any more large. Well, I have one more large spall of this, but the other spalls are all the silver sheen. So if this doesn't work, I'll go with the silver sheen. Okay. Oh yeah, I also sanded down these nice new pads with 40 grit sander belts, and they seem pretty good. Obsidian really slips a lot on the pads, right? So this seems like it might work okay. I'll try it out later. But what seemed to work the best for this kind of obsidian, extremely slick, is just a roll of leather. Seemed to work best in holding it in place and not interfering with the travel of the flakes. Okay. Now, I'm not too familiar with Humboldt types. I did look them up and kind of studied them a little bit, and it seems like they were used for quite a long time in the middle to late Archaic. And the shape is variable. It varies a lot in that time period. So I'm not too worried about getting the shape exact, but I don't want to be completely off. So let me know if that passes for a Humboldt and not something else. This obsidian does have layers in it, and they do interfere with the knapping. I found out on this piece. Because I had an island that was really bad in the middle. You can see the remnants of it here, but it was a layer that I couldn't flake through. So we'll see what happens with this one. Well, that solved that problem. Let's see. Okay, I do have another spall that's reasonably sized. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. I'll pause it right here. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? I think I had just removed some major flakes with the indirect percussion. So I will continue with that. Now, as I was working on this other one, I realized that I could do the whole thing with indirect percussion, in theory. I did a lot of pressure work on it, and then I looked up the Humboldt projectile point again, and I realized that a lot of them were randomly flaked, and I could probably do all the flaking with indirect percussion if that was the case. But on this one, I think I'm going to try to incorporate pressure flaking, even though I was having some trouble with it. Now, if it seems like I'm complaining about the pressure flaking, it's mainly because I want you to see the issues that are going on. I mean, I could nap it and ignore the fact that I'm being frustrated by certain things. But I want to explain the issues that are causing me problems. Because I know you guys are going to have some of the same issues. And if I ignore them, it might lead you to believe that they're not happening. So you will be confused as to why you are experiencing those things. Okay. And every time I start posting a lot of videos, I get the comment that I should get rid of the knee stick. It's so funny. I don't know. You don't know me too well, huh? If you make that suggestion. Why would I give up something that I invented? You haven't watched many of my videos. Anyway. There are many ways to do the indirect percussion stuff. You don't have to put the stick behind your knee, obviously. But it reduces the learning curve significantly, and there are some people who just cannot do massive amounts of pressure flaking due to physical impairment or just not able to get good results. Just can't thin it down with pressure or with their boppers or percussion techniques. Anyway. This is a high quality glass, but the layers sometimes present a problem. I found out it is sometimes an issue I don't know if I mentioned that already. I think that this looks more like an agate basin or something. I don't know. So I'm going to change the design a little bit this time around. You know, I'll make the stem wider and not as concave, and these little ears a little bit sharper. At least I hope so. As long as this preform stays wide enough, it gives me enough room, and I don't overshoot. The wrought iron flaker seems to be working pretty good. As long as I'm careful with it. It's really easy to crush the edge. So it is still steel, it's still kind of harsh. Yeah, right where I can't have any crushing, I get one right there. It's difficult to overcome mistakes that are right at the narrowest part. Now, I don't know if the thinning flakes from the base were done after or before the thinning flakes from the sides. The way when I looked at the Humboldt point, it looked like the thinning flakes on the base were done after the sides, because I could see the bold flaking from the base, so I think that's what I'll do. See, that's the kind of thing. Sometimes I don't know if it's me or if it's a layer in the stone, but I think that one was me. So I'm trying to develop a very conservative platform, and I think it was just too weak. Because if I grind it down a lot, or abrade it, or take it back, or turn the edge, I'm losing width, and I don't want to lose width there. But looks like I have no choice. I end up losing width anyway if I don't develop a strong enough platform. This ends up crushing, and I got to rebuild it. I gotta keep my fingers crossed so that I don't overshoot. If I don't snap off the tip. Well, that looks like there was a defect in there. Yeah, defect in the layers. Yeah, weak spot. Okay, let's see. I really want to use this not so good quality Obsidian. I mean, the quality is okay, it's just the layers in it. And so, there's some defects, not very many. I really want to use it for this video instead of going to the silver sheen. Okay, let's try again. One more time. This is a tricky one because it's near the tip. Okay, I don't want to push my luck with the direct percussion there. Let's see. Okay. I think copper would allow me to be more proficient. The glass is so slick. This obsidian is so slick that the steel is still slipping on it. I mean, that's not the steel. The wrought iron is still slipping on it. It's so strong and slick that the only thing that wouldn't slip, I think, would be copper. Although I do think it would still slip to some extent. But it's just so much easier when you know it's going to stay put when you place it on the platform. All right, this is when I get into trouble with percussion at this stage. Strikes that I know I can normally get away with flint or chert are a whole different ball game with obsidian. I'm having to really be careful of how I'm holding the workpiece. Notice the last time it snapped, I wasn't really paying attention to how I was holding it. But this time I want to make sure that I've got it well supported. The noise you're hearing in the background, if you've got headphones on, you can hear that noise in the background. It's one of my little dogs trying to get through the piece of fencing I put on an opening on the wall there. For the wind to come through, I've got an opening in the wall and a piece of it's not fencing, but it's a 1-inch wire. 1-inch wire. You make rabbit cages out of it. He's trying to rip it off. Rip it off the side of the building. Anyway, I was listening to my videos with headphones on the other night, and all those little background noises, you can hear it in stereo, so you can hear it off one side, and it makes it sound like it's actually in the like there's a dog in the room. Like I thought my dog was inside, growling at something. So yeah, I'm taking my time with this. I don't think I have any cracks yet going into the material, which is good. I'm going to switch over to pressure here in a little bit. Maybe at the 30-minute mark. Still got 7 minutes. Okay, I want to leave myself enough thickness so that when I do the final pass, I can at least attempt to do a nice flake pattern. Obsidian can get really thin really quick, and then you don't have enough thickness to do the final pass. Let's see. Well, I need to turn the edge, so let me see. I need to get my pressure flaker here. There it is. you know, I've got one flat side, pretty flat, but I'm going to turn the edge that way so I can run some flakes on this lumpy side. This is the part where the flakes go flying. Sometimes they end up inside my gloves. But it's not too bad with the roll. With the pad, they really do bounce off the pad quite a bit. Okay, it's a good place to pause right here. I'll continue on the next video.